We've beaten Kuwait in Kuwait, one of our great victories. If we do well against Afghanistan, if we do well against Kuwait at home, we can actually make it to the next round. So, two questions: Asian Cup and qualification into the next round. How confident will it be, and how important, obviously, is it for you as leader, captain, and player?
Okay, before I get to that, I think the last part of the last answer I didn't get. Why I think we are getting decent amount of encouragement is because of the performance in the last 1 year. I think a lot of football fans know exactly where we stand as a footballing nation. And I think in the last 1 year, they have gauged that the performance level has been consistent. And also, when I say footballing fans, they understand where we stand. We're playing Qatar, which is in the top 6 of Asia. They're a proper side. So you kind of know what to expect. The speed and the tempo of the game is something that we are not used to in ISL. And this is without demeaning my country or the top tier of my country. What we got in that game, when you face those teams, we are not used to it. It's something different. And maybe that is why the fans were nicer and a little bit less extreme towards us. But on the same side, if we play a team that we should win or we are at par, then maybe they will have the same frustration. To your answer to this question, I think yes, we have a decent chance. Yes, an away win against Kuwait was very important. And I will tell you, and it might sound a little bit strange, but we were really expecting that we could get a point against Qatar. We were really gung-ho about it. The 4th minute goal in the first half and the 3rd minute goal in the second half killed us. Because when you're playing against a team of that stature and that talent, you can't give them goals like that. But a lot of positive also we took from that game. And we'll keep going. We genuinely want to go to the last stage of the World Cup qualifiers. That will give us a great opportunity to rub our shoulders with the best in Asia. The more we play against the Uzbek, the Australias, the UAE, the Qatar, the Japan, the Korea, the more answers we're going to get how much we're improving. And I think the way we played against Qatar, one of the things that we understood as a nation is we are improving. It is not that now you're going to see a team which just want to go and defend and just wish. We have an idea. A lot of players are improving. We have improved as a player, and collectively, we are not scared. We know where we stand. We are very humble. We know we are amongst 14 to 18th in Asia in terms of level. We know we can take from 10 to 14 teams. We played well against Iraq, if you remember. The top 6 teams are still difficult. Playing against Qatar and Australia, Japan, Saudi, South Korea, Iran, the ones who play the World Cup. It's still difficult because the level is completely different. But we're really optimistic. And the only way we're going to improve is to play against these teams very often, quite often.
That's the question, because here in one of our last interviews, you mentioned to me that Boria, it is not about playing teams which are lower ranked and winning. It is about playing teams which are higher ranked, because that's when you judge yourself, you measure yourself, you quantify the amount of improvement. Even if you lose, that's how you improve. You take that pain. Is that the way forward? And that's why the Asian Cup is so important.
Yeah. And fortunately, see, our last game was Kuwait away, which is a difficult game. Then Qatar, who are proper contenders for the World Cup. Then we got Australia, who are stalwarts in Asia. Uzbek is one of the most improved teams. It's not going to be easy. So I think these games give you a fair idea, and also keeps you on your toes, And it will also tell us exactly how much we have improved, how much we have to improve more. It gives you a realistic mirror, which is very important. And without disrespecting the SAF region, we have played SAF Cup. We have done well. We have won it. But where we want to reach, we will not reach if we keep playing SAF nations. And this is with due respect to all SAF nations. Unless you play the Qatar, the UAE, the Palestine, the Lebanons, which is from 10 to 14 to 8. And then you start punching above your weight and start getting a game against Australia, Japan, South Korea. I mean, Japan is beating Germany. Japan is beating South American teams. Japan, I mean, the level, they are one of the biggest motivators for all us Asian teams. Japan and South Korea, of course, even Australia. But look at the players they have. Look how they play. Look at the players where they are playing. Mitoma is making fun of EPL defenders. You know what I mean? A Son is one of the most prolific strikers in EPL.
Correct.
Kim signs for Bayern and playing week in, week out. 10, 15 years back, it wasn't the case. Look how much they've improved. So they are a real motivation for all of us Asian teams. The Japan, the South Korea, Iran, Australia, even Qatar is doing well. Uzbek is doing well. So we got to try and keep playing them every now and then. One, to be motivated. Number two, to see exactly where we are. And then you get answers.
Final question, Sunil. I mean, suppose we, and fingers crossed we will, if we qualify for the next round, clearly that's a big injection for our football, because again, the fandom that you mentioned over the last year, and I think back to the Bengaluru win that night, or the support in Bhubaneswar, people traveling from all parts. The Kuwait match seemed to me like it was a kind of a home game with the amount of support. It makes a big difference to the sport if we do make it to the third round from this particular group. So when you look back at this year, the national team isn't going to play anymore this year because we will play in January again. How do you look back as the leader of this team compared to the start of the year and now? Satisfied as captain, in the right direction, optimistic? Thoughts about that?
Optimistic, yes. Satisfied, I'm wary of using that word. I generally don't do it because, as I said, where we want to reach is a faraway destination. I'll tell you something, Boria, and I hope you understand and your listeners also understand. One motto we have in the national team right now is to create that culture that when you come for the national team, it is to give every inch of yourself. And it is reminded every time we go to the camp. If it's not me, it'll be Gurpreet. If it's not me, Gurpreet, then it'll be Sandesh or Amrinder or Rahul. We will make sure that we remind that we got to give absolute best. And I'll tell you why we want to give absolute best. It's not because, number one reason is not because we want the country to win stuff. What we really want is to have the culture in the dressing room that this team is going to be better than what it was last year. So that the next youngsters, the Suresh, the Anwar, the Akash, will take the baton forward and they will be better than us. The under 19 will look up to us and say, you know what, we got to be better than them. And like this only, a team will come, the under 5, 10, whatever it is, when the difference will be exponential. Right now, it will be less. You will not be able to see it. But I want that culture in the dressing room that no matter what, to reach in the best 10 of Asia and to stay there, we all got to improve. And the only way is to put our head down and make sure that every game for the national team is a bloody do and die, pardon my French, but do and die stuff. You give every inch of yourself. Right now, we don't have the sheer quality talent of a Qatar, a Japan, a Korea and all, but the want to do well for the nation should not be unparalleled to anyone else. In that department, we'll not lose, no matter who we face. Yes, the Qatari players are better than us talent-wise. Yes, they were. And we have no qualms of accepting that. But the need and the want and the desire to give everything for our country has to be given in the dressing room. It is bare minimum. And that's the culture I want to take forward to the next generation. And the next generation to the next generation. Everyone, when they come to the national team, they will know that there is no way that this thing is not going to be there. It comes to eating well, making sure that you sleep on right time, do not take any liberties when it's a national team. And that's the culture we want to take forward. Then what will happen, Boria, is one day will come and you'll see, oh, you know what? Now we press, now we have high tempo, and now we have talented players also. Next generation, oh, you know what? Now they get good finishers also. Next generation, oh, you know what? Now we are a complete team.
So that's real legacy. I mean, even if we might lose in the Asian Cup against an Australia, if this effort, the one that you're talking about here, if the 100%, 200%, that last iota of energy left is given on the pitch, that's what we as analysts or fans want. That's what makes us proud. When we go and support for a Sunil Chhetri, yes, I know. I mean, if Sunil Chhetri today sort of stands up and says, oh, I'm better than the Germanys of the world, that's not the case. But we have to get there. And to get there, these are little steps that we are taking. In one day, a building is not built. Yep. In order to build that foundation, I think the foundation is being laid by you all. The superstructure will come later.
Yes.
That's what I'm looking for in the Asian Cup, Sunil. And 3 of my guys will be there in Doha. We will send our reporters everywhere where the team plays. Not simply you guys, every sport. Because that's how Indian sport will go forward. Thank you very much, Sunil. Thank you very much for joining me. You
Thanks
make a difference. You make a difference because you inspire. You make a difference because you make us feel that there is so much to look forward to. It's not about winning or losing. It's about effort. It's about passion. It's about setting the bar that something that I can control, I will give my 100%.
Thank you, Thank you so much. All the very
best. Thank you so much. Thank you.